Hello there guys, this is Libby, otherwise known as Silverlief, and today we're starting a brand new project. Technically, I already started because my computer died in the middle of doing this yesterday. Thankfully, my husband had a spare laptop, so he's letting me use that. Yes. So basically what I did before everything, messed up, was I cut two boards. They are like 5 3/4 by I think 9. Yes. Thought being to make a journal. Thought being I want to use, what would it be? Letter size paper. Folded in half, which would make for 5.5 by 8.5. So a 1/4 inch top and bottom, adds another half on, and I'm only doing a 1/4 inch to one side because the other side is going to be butted up to the spine. So basically, so that there's like a 1/4 inch all the way around. So that was the plan. It's just chipboard that I covered in map, which I took from this Reader's Digest. It's gigantic. Just one page covered both. Funny story, I ordered atlas from thrift books. Expected it to be, normal, standard size. It came in, it's tiny, it's a pocket one. Okay, whatever. I'll still use it, so it's fine. Order this one. Thinking, okay, well maybe this one is just like a normal size. No, this guy's huge. But it's perfect for things like this. I can make pages out of it. So the plan is to do like a traveler's journal type of thing, maybe a little bit grungy. If you can hear my dog, I apologize. Yes, so here are my cover pages. It's of Europe. Even though this is how the map would be, I think I'm still going to have this as the front cover and this as the back. I like that there's more empty space. I mean, it's not really empty space because, it's got the sea there. But I feel like I can put a book plate here, and it won't... this feels just a bit too busy for a front cover. What I also did was, I think this is 1.5 inches. Yes, I did the same thing but with the spine, and I covered it in paper tape. I don't know what the actual name is for this, but yeah, it's just tape. It looks like brown packaging paper. So I covered one side in that, and then the other side I did my markings. So I measured for the center line, and then however much to either side, I don't really remember. But then to get the other marks, I just used my ruler to make spaces in between, like the width of the ruler. And then I crossed out the top and the bottom ones, because I'm not going to punch there, you can see. Yeah, I crossed those out because I'm not actually going to do those. I just marked them on there for the measurement's sake. Because this is the same height as the book, and as I've already said, the book is smaller than the page, is bigger than the pages will be, so I just wanted to give myself enough room to not worry about that. Okay, so I haven't quite decided yet if... I know for a fact I do not want to do this case bound, which is where you sew the signature together separately and then attach it with end pages. Reason being, I want to have a lot of room in this signature. In this book, I want the signatures to be able to expand. And if I do it case bound, I can't really do that. Yeah. But I want us to be able to really go to town decorating this. I don't want to end up being unable to finish it because it's run out of space. So I'm thinking 3 signatures with maybe 5 pages each, maybe a bit more. I haven't decided yet, but just enough space between the signatures that they can really breathe and grow. So this, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to sew it just to this. And then, glue this down and cover it so you can't see the thread, or if I'm going to sew through it completely so you can see the thread. I hope that makes sense. So this is meant to be the inside, you know, just so it's covered, so it's not this chipboard grey. This is the exterior, but I wanted to keep where the holes are. Well, where the holes will go. Haven't decided that yet. I should probably decide soon though, because I'm getting to the point now where, you know, these are done, so I have to kind of make up my mind. But before I work on that, I have some papers that I printed off. I don't know if one is enough, so I printed off 2 of them. If I can grab the other one off my drying rack. I thought the greens worked nicely with the earthy tones. It's the same, but I'm going to do them different orientations so that they don't look the same. So these are going to be my internal pages, and I'm just going to cover, I'm going to leave like just a little edge around, but it's mostly going to be the same size. So I'm going to very quickly take these and trim them with my paper trimmer, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I have my 2 pieces, so I'm going to try and center them as best I can. On here, and I'm just using a very small amount of glue. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to use glue stick initially, and then I'm going to go around the edge before I glue it down with art glitter glue. So let me just grab a glue sheet, if I can grab it. These are just prints that didn't come out well, so not paper I'm going to miss. And I'm trying to just cover it as best I can. I want pretty full coverage, but it doesn't need to be heavy coverage, if that makes sense. I don't really want this to curl up if I can help it. In fact, once I have this on, I am probably just going to lay it under that atlas. Oh, got some glue on my finger. Okay, so lift it up, turn that over. I'm using this because I can get a nice thin bead around the edge, and it's very quick, and strong is the important one for drying, so it'll hold well. Whereas this will do a full coverage, the glue stick, but it might not last. Don't know if you've ever glued things before with a glue stick, but it's not exactly known for longevity, so I'm just gonna do a bit of that. Okay. Doesn't really matter which way's up and which way's down because it's just marble paper. So I'm going to pop this on here, and I'm just lifting it so I can get a good look at it without, like, from the right kind of angle. Somehow I managed to cut this crooked. That's going to annoy me. I might have to cover it. Is that the top or the bottom? It's the bottom. I'll cover it with a pocket or something. Otherwise that is very much going to annoy me. I must have moved it in the trimmer. It happens. Okay, so that's how the inside's going to look. I'm just going to pop this underneath my atlas. Just down on the floor for my side. And then we'll do the same thing with this one. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm hoping that I can be a bit more consistent with posting, because I'm very much enjoying this. The issue is, like, the weekends tend to be my busier time at work, where I have, like, my longer shifts, and more consecutive shifts, I suppose. That makes it harder for me to post on the weekend, because I just get incredibly tired. That was up. Which side is wonky? I don't think it matters. I think if I make this at the top straight, then the bottom is always going to be wonky. Oh no. Well, proving myself wrong there. But that's okay. Nobody's going to look at this as closely as I am looking at it right now. So it's fine. The glue stick is actually helping here. It's allowing me to move it around. Where the art glitter glue would normally have just immediately stuck. Oh, I just whacked my elbow. That was fun. So I'm just going to spread that out. Okay, so this is the second one. Again, I'm going to pop this down under my atlas, just so it can squish it straight. Okay, so now I need to make my decision on whether I want the threads hidden. I think it will look better if I do, but it is actually harder to sew them in, because you're sewing it into something that's a bit more flimsy than it would be if it was glued down. But I think I would prefer that. I think, well, actually, does it matter? Yes, it does matter. It does, because I'm going to be using book repair tape for the spine. I guess I could cover it back over again with another piece. Sorry, just thinking. Still haven't decided. Okay, I think I'm going to construct it, sew the signatures in, and then do a final layer of this tape when I'm done. And hopefully that will look okay. Fingers crossed. Okay. So with that in mind, this is going to be the outside. Oh, how am I going to do that though? Nope, I'm not able to, because of the way I've done this. I mean, I could, I just have to transfer this. I'm not going to. Instead, I'm going to find my awl, wherever it may be. I can never find anything at the moment. I think I just keep moving things. Where did I put you? My desk is a mess right now. I never cleared away after doing Mum's journal. I usually have my awl right next to me. 2 seconds. Lucky for me, I have about 50 of these. Oh, I need one more thing. Libby. Apologies, I use a piece of styrofoam to stab into. So I'm going to start with doing my holes here. That way I have it on the other side. So I'm just going at these intersections here, all the way down. Okay. And then I'm going to take this piece of paper that's the height of the pages that I'll be using. I'm going to lay it on here as middling as I can. I'm just going to mark each of these points on here. Turning it inside out, and then where each of these points are on this line, I'm going to pierce a hole. And this will be my template for the signatures, which I have yet to make, so we'll be doing that next. You can just do 3, and that would be fine, a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. The reason I'm not doing that is I want more points, so that it's smaller, tighter, and it'll be sturdier when I'm done with it. So that's my template. Now I need to figure out what kind of paper I want on the inside, so I'm going to just pause for a second and go and grab a few things, okay? Okay, so I'm back. I have a few different types of paper. I'm not sure if I'll use all of these, but I've got 3 of each type, just so we can play around. So I have this, which is from an old school book that I was gifted. So 1 each of those. I'm just making 3 piles up at the top here. Then I have these little note papers that I was given. You know, they're cute. They've got sea animals. I haven't used them in a journal before, so I figured why not. So, I mean, these are going to be small, so they're probably going to get nestled in between others. So 1 each. I'm just folding them in half, and we'll nestle them at the end. With the thicker paper, I'm going to use my bone folder. With this thinner paper, I'm not. I don't want really tight creases right now. I don't think it will look nice with the finished journal. So then I have, this is just some textured paper. Is it my no, this is not my textured paper. Sorry, this is just some old printer paper. It's slightly yellowed. I got it from, our library has like a free bin outside, and somebody donated a bunch of printer paper. And it was all like slightly yellowed and had some ghosting of like previously printed things. So I took it from the free bin. I still have a fair bit of it. I like using it here and there because it's not pristine white. Then I have these note papers, which they're Christmassy, but I'm going to overlook it because again it's not something that I've used before, and I want different papers in here. This was gifted to me with a set from a Buy Nothing page. She had some stickers and stuff, and then she threw these in with it. So I don't think most of this that I have right now as this paper is not stuff that I bought. It's stuff that was gifted. This is the textured paper. It's like got a linen texture to it. I don't know if you can see. Again, gifted to me. The only one that I bought, I think, is this craft paper. Well, toned paper, actually, is what it is. But I have some that I tea-dyed. Oh, I lie. I also have some of the bullet journaling paper. But I have some that I tea-dyed, just here, which I think was just some printer paper. So I'll put this in. as I say, I did purchase this. I like working with toned paper. Let's see. This thicker stuff I will be using the bone folder for. I think these were a bit bigger than the other pages, so I might have to trim them down to size, but that's fine. Either trim them or make tucks and pockets and all that sort of thing. I also have some ledger that I might pull out and use. I forgot about that, to be honest. So I'm not going to finish the signature today, obviously. I'm going to stack these and I might see about sewing them in. Although that's always a very difficult part to film. And then I actually have another project that I would like to get done either today or tomorrow. It was a co-worker's fiance husband, I'm not sure which. It's his birthday the other day and he sort of got a bit forgotten by people, so I figured I'd make him a little book. Because why not? That's what I do. I make gifts. I don't think I've sold all of one book in my life. And it was one I made for somebody and that commission fell through. And I was discussing it with a co-worker and they seemed really eager. It was like a D&D book. And he bought it from me, which was very nice. I've made a book before for a funeral and they sent money back, which, you know, I didn't like that they sent the money back, but it was through a friend. It was like someone that a friend knew, not someone I knew. I just made a book for them. Yeah, so then these are just cardstock. I have a purple, a blue, and a green. And then these are smaller pages like the first ones, but they're made from the book, from the map. So I wanted a piece of this in there too. I'll be 1 second, I'm just going to go grab that ledger. Okay, so here's my ledger. What I want to do, I have some pages here that are actually already coming out, but I want to look for some that can also be written on. Like this one here has a blank spot on the back, so that can work. I don't mind using these for like collage and stuff, but when I'm putting it in a book, I'd like at least a little bit of somewhere to write. And that one, alright, it's from the 50s, it's nice, it's a very thin one, but I like it. Alright, and then I'm going to, let's see, be the right size. You know what I'll do, I'll just trim them down so they'll fit. Okay. So let me trim down this and see if I need to trim down this, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I trimmed it off, and I'm going to keep these little pieces for masterboards and stuff. Well, for whatever I want to use them for, really. Okay. So now I'm just going to stack these up. All that I know is that I want the map and the little fish notepad to be somewhere in the middle. Otherwise, I don't mind what goes where. And I'm going to try not to do them the same throughout the three. I have a habit of doing them the same, and then I don't like it in the end, so. Oh, the toned paper was the one that I needed to trim down. 1 second. Let me quickly. I knew there was one I was missing. I need to be 5. And what I'm doing is I'm just making it 5.5 wide. Guillotine off to one side. Here we go. That's better. Yep, yep. Okay. Put you in there. I'm trying to mix up between like the ones that have stuff on, the ones that are just plain, the ones that are toned or dyed. you. Piece of ledger. You. My copy died. Tea died even, and then I'll put the writing paper in the middle of that one. Okay, so that's one signature. Start with you. And you. You. Where's my little fishies? Some fishies. Some plain. You. I'm not really given a rhyme or reason to what's going where, really, other than, as I say, trying to stagger some of the pages and making sure that these small ones are in the middle. I think I'll start you with the ledger, the letterhead, and you. Okay, so that's the 3 signatures. I'm going to have that be my first, that be my middle, that be my last. Okay, where did I put? It would help if I knew where I put things, wouldn't it? Here we are. There you are, and here's my template. Sorry, words are hard today. So I'm going to do this guy first. Actually, should I start in the middle? It would be easier. No, I'm going to start with this one first. I'm just setting this in the center, like a cradle. I'm not doing it fully closed, I'm not doing it fully open. I want it bent. And then I'm just going to take my awl and I'm going to poke each of these holes. So, 1. Go into all of those pages. 2, 3, 4. What I like to do is turn it around because I'm a lefty and it's hard to get to the right. 2, 3, 4. So that's 1. Did I get through that properly? Yes. So that's 1. I'm just going to lay it on its front for a second. There's 2. Another reason I like to do this many holes is when you've got smaller pages in your signatures. Oh, 1 second. It means that they're definitely having more than one point of being locked in. If you only have a 3-hole pamphlet stitch holding everything together, you run into the problem of whether or not they're being caught by the thread. 2. And you just make sure that this is the right way up too. 1 second. That doesn't matter because it's sideways, it's not the right way up, that's the right way up. Do you have anything else with words on? No. So you, let me check with this one before I start. You, alright. Make sure that's the right way up still. Although that isn't, because it says North America upside down, so okay. Let me just quickly check that there's no upside down words on these ones. The only time they're upside down is if they have like it in a box on the side. Alright, that's fine. And now the frustrating part, which is sewing this in. I don't mind it, it's just because this is flimsy, it's harder. But yeah, if you can see, the holes line up nicely. I have a little thing off to my left with all my thread in. What do I want to use? Just some waxed thread, I think. Yeah, waxed, and then I have a thing of curved needles somewhere. Do I know where right now? Evidently not. I need to organize. Are you in here with my... Yeah, I got them. I put everything away in drawers, but they weren't originally in drawers. They're on my desk, so... So I like a curved needle. It's not necessary, especially for this. This is like a straight stitch. But if you were like binding it in like a case bound, I definitely recommend, let me not hide that, using a curved needle. So you should do like 3.5 times the length, but I always do 4. I prefer to have more than too little, so. Okay. I'm just rolling the end. It's waxed, so it should help it to come through. If it's not going to, I'll just trim it, but I don't want to waste my thread. Alright, so I'm just doing a little bit of a tail, and then at the end, I'll do a double knot. Simple double knot. It's mostly just to hold it in place to begin with. It doesn't really matter to me. And I'm just going to start at the top, and I'm just going to zigzag my way up and down. So out. And we want this side is actually supposed to be the inside. So. Now the thing to remember is which of the 3 you're on, because I've done it before and messed that up. Oh, how did I manage that? By going around. 1 second. Please hold. Please hold. That was crazy. All right, let's go again. Alright, so then I'm bringing it back through. Let me make sure that I'm not... Oh, it's because it's wrapping around when I'm doing it. That's fine. I say, it's more finicky to do it this way. I actually find it harder to get it tight, but it is possible. So, where's the middle of you? Hello? There. Okay, so then... through the second hole. Did I shift everything? Probably. Sorry, this is hard to do when I'm not like up close and personal with it. But I can't really be up close and personal with it right now whilst I'm filming it, so. Nope. There we go. As I say, I'm aiming to go all the way down, then all the way back up. And that'll just double the strength of the thread. If I'm going to be putting strain on this signature, I want it to be strong. You know. Okay. So as I'm going, I'm just trying to tighten it a little bit. You don't want it too tight, but I'm just going through. I'm going through the right spot. Yep. I check on the inside because sometimes it'll puncture a hole. I don't know if you can see here, like a separate hole, and I don't want that. I want it as aligned as possible. So. And I'm taking my time and I'm bringing it out through the signature first and then through the spine. That way I can just make sure that there's no issues, you know, nothing's getting caught anywhere. Learnt that one the hard way. When you get done and then you look inside and you see, oh, there's a huge area here that just never got tightened. Okay, as we get towards the bottom, it's going to get harder to push it back through because there's less space on the spine for it to move, but that's okay. Through. I very much enjoy the process of binding in my signatures. I know some people really don't like it, but I always have. Now what I could do here is just leave it and just start on the next one. But again, I know I'm going to be adding a lot. Sorry, this one wouldn't come through. A lot to my spine. Well, a lot to my pages, and that's going to put strain on my spine, and I don't want my spine breaking, so. This is what I mean, by the way, by extra thread that hasn't been tightened. So I'm just going to go through and tighten all of these before I start going back up, because it's much harder to do it after this point. You don't want to tighten it so much that you start ripping the page though. So now I'm just going to go back down the same way that I came in. Not the same way, sorry. I'm going to go down through the holes that I haven't been through yet, if that makes sense. This time though I am going to have to go through the spine and the cover at the same time. Like the pages and the chipboard. So there we go. Doing my best not to split the thread, but it's easier said than done. And I'm pretty sure I did just split the thread, so you know. But I'll do better on the next ones. So I'm gonna. This is really hard to film. I'm gonna just keep going down now, and then I'll start on the others and do the exact same. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've done the first, and then to do the second, I just went, when I came back up through the very top, I went down into the next. And I'm realizing I did not do enough thread because I'd forgotten doing up and down. So I need like twice as much thread, but it's okay, I'll just tie it on when I get to the end. But yeah, I'm just continuing on the same, so going down, then back up. Okay, just one other thing that I completely forgot to mention. Because you're starting from the outside, you're going to come out here. And instead of going back in here, because you don't have another way to get out, I wrapped it around this previous thread and then put it through. Does that make sense? So I wrapped it around this and then brought it through and down. And then I'll be starting this last signature. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so it turns out I had just the right amount. I snipped off the tiniest amount of thread at the end. So here's the spine with the books in it. Very happy. They lined up pretty well. This middle one is a tiny bit higher. I'm not sure how, but it's fine. It happens. I'm not looking for perfection here. So, you know, we have a decent amount of paper and there's a lot of room in this spine that if we start adding and adding and adding and adding, there should be enough room to keep it growing. So, you know, we have all our different types of paper, lots of different things we can do with it. Some's thinner, some is more sturdy, so I'll focus the bigger projects on the sturdier pieces. But yeah, I really like it. Let's have a look, see here. So, what I plan on doing now is taking these, figuring out which I want as my cover, which I think I already said I want this one. And this guy will be here. And I'm going to effectively add tape to about 1 inch of here. This is I think 2 inch. So 1 inch will be on here, 1 inch will be on the spine. And same on the other side, and have it overlap. And then that will hold the cover on there, if that makes sense. So it'll be on both sides, like this. And the spine will be covered by the tape. So what I'm going to do is just mark myself 1 inch on here. If I have a pencil, that would be great. I know I had lead somewhere. Where are you, my friend? My big chunky graphite. So I'm going to mark out here and about here, and I'll take out my ruler and just line those up. So about 1 inch, that's where I want it to go to. And then, so that's that side. So I want this one on this side. About there. Okay, so we can see. And I'm going to do it on that line. Which side do I want to start with? Oh, I did it wrong because this is supposed to be the cover, isn't it? Oh well, that's the cover now. I actually prefer that anyway because this is putting that on. Oh wait, no, that is the cover. That's the cover. Ah, I'm confusing myself. This would be the cover. That's fine. Because technically, if I was to open this up, that would be the map anyway. So yeah, all right. I did it wrong, but it's fine. So what I'm going to do is cut myself a length that matches this height. In fact, I'm going to do it a little bit more and then I can trim it after the fact. I think that makes a bit more sense. Sorry, you can't see me right now, but I'm trimming off camera. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I like this stuff because it's got a backing on it. So I can cut it and it's not having to be stuck. Okay, so we'll pop that over there. I'm going to begin with my now back cover. I'm going to just take a little bit of this backing off. So that I can line it and then I can pull that back. It just means I can make it nice and neat exactly where I want it first, like that. And then we pull that up and we carefully, oh, it moved. carefully, she says. Can I lift that? Oh, get off that side, thank you. Carefully. That's because it's stuck onto my desk. If you can see my hair, I apologise. There we go. Carefully put that on there. Okay, and then I'm going to take this, and I want to leave just a little bit of a gap in between them so that the pages can move. So that this can move is what I'm trying to say. The cover can move. Okay, so that's that side. I'm going to repeat that with this other side. This one's a pain because it has the start of my tape, so I'm going to flip it and just use the other side. This is just book tape. It's meant for book repairs, but it's got a really nice finish to it. It's fabric, so. Okay, line that up. Take off the tape and just very carefully ease it into place. I'm not letting it rest properly on this book until I'm satisfied with where it's going, which I think will be, oh, you can't see it all, can you? I'm sorry. Like that. That's straight. Straight enough. Okay. Oh, it lifted off that. Okay. Okay. As you can see, I'm now covering up the stitching. Okay, so then I want roughly the same amount. If I was being precise, I would have grabbed, I have a tool for measuring, if you can see that. So roughly the same amount either side, and then I'm going to very carefully. And what I'm going to do is place one last one in the middle here, just to cover up this seam. It'll put the seam on the edge here instead, which I would much prefer. So I'm going to lay this flat for a second, try and make sure that this is nice and neat, and then I'm going to trim down here at the bottom. So, just 1 second. Okay, why did you move? Naughty, naughty. Okay. Where is my kniffy? Oh, I put it away. And just very carefully, I'm going to cut this off. I don't want to cut into all this hard work I've done covering this paper, this board. So I'm just going to be careful and just gently cut through. So right this second, this is what we have. This isn't gluing down properly, but I'll glue it in a second. I should have added some extra glue, but I wasn't thinking. But this is how it's looking. I think it looks very neat. I like the way that that is. I don't like that this is a bit off at the top, but I'll live with it. Okay. Let's say I'm going to add another one. What I do want to do though is quickly. Are you going to come up? No, it's not coming up anymore. Okay. The spine is definitely coming up though. I'm going to add another piece. I'm going to add some glitter glue to this spine. If you can see, this is about as thick as the spine is, which actually might be a bit of a pain. I didn't think about that either. Hello, this is the episode of Libby not thinking about things. Yeah, my plan was to cover that spine bit, but might not make sense. So instead, I'm only thinking because there won't be enough to go over and grip, I don't think. No, that's going to keep unfurling. Alright, that's fine, we'll just do it like this. Where is my bone folder? Sorry for the sounds. Okay. This is a new experimental way of doing it for me, if you can't tell. Okay. So then what I want to do is, if you can see on the inside here, this fold here, I'm going to add tape along here. Just to cover this and to give it a bit more security. So, if I can hold that down there, let me try and cut this a little bit straighter. Sorry, I'm just off the camera right now. There we go. Straight. So I'm going to glue it off to the left and then off to the right. And that'll cover up that seam. It'll keep anything from getting sticky in there. And it'll just give it a bit more stability here. So, what am I doing this up to? Up to approximately there. And I'm just off screen using my cutter because it'll make it straight, and I'm not good at cutting straight, so. Get you nice and straight in place. Did that work? Yup. That will do. I'm going to try and just get it in as far as I can. Just like that. I don't know why it's wobbly. I think that must actually just be the tape. That's a bit annoying, but we'll make do when we decorate the inside. You won't even notice it. So I'm just going in with my bone folder. I'm going into that fold itself, burnishing it down. So when you open it, it's like this. And again, it's just strengthening the spine here. So we're going to do the same with this side, which has moved a little bit. But that's okay, I think. Is it going to be a pain? No. I don't think so. So now I'm just propping that up. Do the same thing here. do this about here. And then, so I'm not going to get to decorating it all today. We're just putting it together. Yeah, I say I have another project that I need to get to first before I can really enjoy this book. Let's see. Sorry. Please don't pull up the thing. Thank you. Sorry, I want it all the way into that edge. So there it is now. I really like the way it looks. Now what we're going to do for the corners is usually I would add book corners. But this time I'm going to draw just under 2 inches in each of these. And then I will lay this on and cut the corners around. That is my plan. But that requires me to have a ruler. Here we go. So I'm going to go for just like a notch or two under 2 meters. 2 inches, sorry. In fact, I'm going to send it down to 1 3/4 inches. So there, and you guys can't see me. So 1 3/4 inches, and then I'm going to draw a line. Let me just double check this top one because I don't want it to be odd. Yep, 1 3/4 inches, cool. So then I'm just going to draw a line, you can see, and that gives me something to line this up with when I put it on. So I'm just going to do that on all 4 corners. Oh, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my marks. I'll do the first one with you. First, let me remember to put my pin in my glue. Okay. So I'm going to cut it bigger than I need. If I can find my scissors, I will at least. Just going to roll back the tape if I can find a good end. There we go. And then I'm going to follow that line. So once I have it nicely flat, I'm going to cut out the triangle here. I'm basically going to miter it. Leave a little bit for the corner. So just a little corner off. And then I'm going to fold this up and see how it looks. Although for some reason I cut that bit wrong. So like this. Oh, 1 second. I'm going to cut from this corner to this corner too. Would it be neater if I did it with a knife? Probably. Oh, I've gunked up my scissors now. Smart. So I'm just going to go, I should use a ruler. But I didn't. Sorry. So like this. And then when this one comes over nice and neat, the inside should be square, but I've got to do some more cutting. I can find my scissors. I mean my knife. I should be using my metal ruler too. If it did, is that going to go neat? This little corner is not. I'm just going to turn it off. Sorry, this is a newer thing for me. That's not working, Libby. No, it's fine. I'm just going to recover the inside because I do not like how that looks. That's okay. Trial and error. I like how it looks on the outside. I just don't like how it looks on the inside. But I can do some work on the inside to make it how I like. You know, I can put a pocket here and it'll be fine. So I'm not too worried. This is just the foundation for now. So I'm going to pause and do the rest and hopefully get them just a little bit neater. just a little bit. Okay, I'm back and I've done it. What I've realised is I did have my order of operations wrong. So it's all nice and neat now, it looks good. The inside does not, you know why? Because I was supposed to put this on afterwards. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to print out another 2 pieces of this marble paper. And then I will cover it back on here. I might even still have the offcuts. If I do, they may be big enough. I'm not 100% sure about that though. It would help if I could find my offcuts, of course. Yeah, can't find them. They're around here somewhere. Where that is, I don't know. But what I'm going to do is either find the offcuts or print off new ones, and then I'm going to lay it over here, and I'll show you what that looks like before I finish today. Okay, so I did the back. I'm just doing the front now. I inked around the edges. I did glue stick, and then just a little bit of glitter glue around the middle and the end. And all I'm going to do is line this up where I want it, which I think is around about there. Straighten it out. And then the only thing left that I would like to do, and I already did it with the cover, I just forgot to mention it, but I want to do it with these inside pages too, is once the ink on the paper has had time to properly set, I'm going to go in with my matte varnish just to protect it, to seal it in and protect it, but I need to give this time to properly set first, otherwise it's just going to run, and I don't want that. So, but yeah, you can see the difference that made just recovering the inside. This is going to annoy me. Is it doing that on the other side too? Yes. I cut it a little bit too long, but that's okay. This one's the worst offender, so I'm just going to add a little bit extra glue under it where it's curling, and then I'm just going to press it down and leave it open until it's glued. That's fine. But yeah, so I'm really happy with that. I think it's come along really nice. I'll probably end up adding a bit more. Well, no, I'm not going to add any more varnish to the outside because I put the tape on. But I'm going to go around and just trim up these corners and stuff where it's needed. But right now, if we ignore this paper that I cut too long, Really happy with it. We're going to decorate this front cover, and then, well, I'll go through and decorate a lot of it, to be honest. I'm thinking a nice pocket on the inside. I'm taking a book plate, but I'm not going to use brads or anything. I'm just going to glue it on, I think. If I do end up wanting to stick it on, like with hardware, I'll use rivets. That way the back also has the rivets, if that makes sense. Okay, well, I'm going to have to leave this open under something heavy and hope that it dries flat. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'm very excited to get started on this. I think it's beautiful. I like the way that I did it, and I'm excited to get going with it. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.